You know that moment after a conversation ends, and instead of moving on, your mind replays it. The tone you used. The pause before you answered. The expression on their face when you said that one sentence. Hours later, you're still there. Still adjusting the wording in your head. Still imagining how it could have gone differently. Most people don't notice this process happening inside you. They just see the quietness. Or the hesitation. Or the way you take a little longer to decide. And sometimes, they call it overreacting. Too sensitive. Too intense. You're thinking too much. What they don't see is that this isn't chaos. It's not drama. It's not weakness. It's a pattern. And there's more going on here than people realize. Overthinking isn't just thinking a lot. It's a nervous system that learned to scan, to anticipate, to predict. Psychologists sometimes describe it as heightened threat detection. The brain's monitoring system. Especially areas like the amygdala and parts of the prefrontal cortex stay slightly more active than average. Not because something is wrong, but because somewhere along the way, being alert felt necessary. Research on anxiety and rumination shows that some minds are simply more detail-oriented when it comes to social and emotional information. They don't just register events, they analyze tone shifts, micro-expressions, subtle changes in energy. They simulate possible outcomes before they happen. Translated into real life, that means you walk into a room and instantly read it. You sense tension before anyone says a word. You notice when someone's mood changes by half a degree. And your brain doesn't let that information go. It keeps working on it in the background, long after everyone else has moved on. But this pattern didn't appear randomly. For many people who overthink, it began as adaptation. Maybe you grew up in an environment where reactions were unpredictable. Where reading the room kept things smoother. Where saying the wrong thing had consequences, emotional or otherwise. Or maybe you were the sensitive child. The one who picked up on everything. The one who tried to prevent conflict before it started. Over time, the brain learns, anticipate first, relax later. And eventually, later never fully arrives. Neuroscience calls this experience-dependent wiring. The brain strengthens the pathways it uses most. If you repeatedly scan for what could go wrong, those circuits become efficient. Automatic. What looks like indecision is often pattern recognition running on overdrive. What looks like doubt is often a mind that sees too many possibilities at once. And none of this is a character flaw. Different nervous systems respond to the world in different ways. Some people externalize quickly. They speak before they process. They move on without replaying. That's not superior, it's simply a different style of regulation. Others internalize first. They reflect. They simulate. They refine. Neither is morally better. They just come with different trade-offs. And that's where it gets interesting. Because overthinking isn't only about anxiety. It's also connected to imagination. The same cognitive ability that lets you mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios is the one that allows deep empathy. Strategic planning. Creative problem-solving. Emotional intelligence. Your brain is very good at building simulations. The cost is that it builds them even when you wish it wouldn't. There's a quiet paradox here. The people who overthink the most often care the most. They want to get it right. They want to avoid harm. They want to understand before reacting. But caring deeply can turn into self-surveillance. Instead of asking, "Did that feel authentic?" the mind asks, "Did that sound stupid?" Instead of, "Was that aligned with me?" it asks, "Did they approve?" Over time, the thinking becomes less about curiosity and more about control. If I replay it enough, maybe I can prevent the next mistake. If I analyze it thoroughly, maybe I won't be caught off guard again. But the truth is, certainty is never fully achievable. And a mind built for scanning struggles with that. There's also something most people don't realize. Overthinking isn't constant negativity. It's often an attempt at safety. The brain believes it's protecting you. When it replays conversations at night, it's not trying to torture you. It's trying to update its model of the world. To reduce future risk. To prepare you. It just doesn't know when to stop. And sometimes, the exhaustion you feel isn't from the events themselves. It's from the internal processing afterward. The silent editing room that never quite turns off. That doesn't mean you're fragile. It means your system is thorough. There's a hidden strength in that. You notice patterns others miss. You think before you act. You feel beneath the surface of things. But there's also a quiet cost. When your mind is always anticipating, it's harder to fully arrive. To be in a moment without evaluating it. To trust that not everything needs optimization. And here's the deeper layer: many people who overthink appear calm on the outside. Composed. Logical. Inside, though, there's a constant movement. A mental whiteboard being erased and rewritten in real time. That duality can feel lonely. Because when others dismiss it as just relax, it minimizes something that feels automatic to you. You're not choosing to overanalyze. It's happening because your brain learned that precision equals safety. But safety isn't always the same as peace. And none of this means you're broken. It means your system adapted intelligently to your world. It means your brain became skilled at prediction. It means you care enough to replay. With awareness, that same system can soften. Not by force. Not by shaming it into silence. But by recognizing that it's been trying to help you all along. Sometimes, simply understanding the pattern reduces its grip. Because once you see that your overthinking is a strategy, not a flaw, it becomes less of an identity and more of a habit your nervous system learned. And habits can evolve. If parts of this felt uncomfortably accurate, that's not an accident. The mind that overthinks also tends to recognize itself in quiet reflections like this. There are other patterns connected to it, ways it shapes relationships, ambition, even the way you experience rest. If this resonated, there's more to uncover.
Hey everyone, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Make sure you hit that notification bell too.